This video is in response to a question that I received earlier today. The question is that, how do you control your mind? You know, we all have thoughts, thousands and thousands of thoughts every day, and they never stop. And most of them aren't things that we really like or things that really make us feel that great. It could just be, judgments about this person, judgments about that thing, random stuff about, oh, I remember, when I was in 12th grade, this happened, or gee, I wonder what so and so is doing. We expend so much of our mental energy on things that are completely other than what we're wanting and other than moving us in the direction of our goals, our dreams, our wishes, whatever. So it seems like the obvious solution is we have to control our mind. We have to take control of our thoughts and shift them more towards what we want. But that effort is usually met with an extreme amount of resistance and tension and stress. Because to sum it up and to illustrate it, trying to control your mind is like trying to grasp water and hold it in your hand. As soon as you try to grab it, as soon as you try to hold on to it, it just slips through the cracks. And you can sit there for hours and hours, spend your entire lifetime trying to hold on to it, trying to grab it, and it just will completely slip through your hands all the time. But if you think about that, you meditate on that, and you really can tap into the essence of what that illustration is getting at, then that's all you need to take from this video. But to take it a step further and extrapolate what I'm trying to say, the only way to really control anything and the only way to really control your mind is to just let it go and not try to control it. You know, there's a Taoist saying, or actually a Taoist story that I'd read recently, and it's talking about how there was a student who went, and tried to study with this master. And, at first he sat and he tried to sit for hours and hours. He tried to control his thoughts, tried to control his breathing, tried to control everything that was happening. And it was hard, and he was met with a tremendous amount of resistance, and he just spent all his time and energy and got nowhere. And then eventually he just decided, forget it, and he gave up. And then all of a sudden his mind settled down, everything calmed down, and he said that he let his ears hear what they wanted to hear, his eyes see what they wanted to see, his taste buds taste what they wanted to taste, and he just started to see the thoughts in his head passing by like clouds or flowing by like water, and he just let go. And from then he got real control, he got real power. Because ultimately we don't really want the kind of control that we think we want. When we first start off, we think we want control of, trying to orchestrate every little minute detail and every little thing that we want to happen in our lives. But ultimately, no one wants that responsibility. Because in most cases, you ask people what they want, and they don't even know. Say if you could have anything right now, what would it be? What would your life look like? From the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, what would you do? How would you spend every single minute? People don't know. No one knows. So no one really wants this kind of control or this kind of responsibility, because with power comes responsibility. Now, if you say you really want control, and you really want to control your mind, that means you're going to have to digest all your food, you're going to have to control and orchestrate all of your circulatory rhythms, your circadian rhythms, your lymphatic system, your nervous system. All of these things are falling under the government of your mind, of your brain, of your nervous system, of your organism, that you have to trust. And you can't physically try to control this. And what most people think of as control, and most people are labeling as control, is just muscular tension in the connective tissue and the muscles in the nervous system. And this is really just a constriction and a self-contraction. It has nothing to do with real control or real power. So ultimately, the way to really control your mind is to just give up and let it go. And not take everything that happens in your mind so seriously, not get so caught up in your own drama. Because what's happening in your mind has, in most cases, very little to do with what's actually happening in this physical world. But you look at like cultures like Buddhism and these kinds of these kinds of structures, they always use things like gongs or bells or bowls. That's because ultimately that's what brings us into the present moment. Because when you take something like you clap your hands, that's reality. That's something arising out of nothing spontaneously. It's not whatever the story is that's going in our head. And ultimately, all these traditions aren't really to get you to control your mind or to discipline your mind or to clear your head of all thoughts and just be this empty vacuum, living corpse kind of a thing. It's to get you to see through your mind and to see the true nature of your mind, that your mind's really empty. That your mind's really just like a mirror that reflects everything but doesn't really hold anything. Because you have to understand what the true nature of your mind is. And the only way you can start to do that, the only way you can really start to get control, is to just let go, stop trying to control it, and relax. So if you really want to slow down your mind and slow down your thoughts, this can be done. And this is why arts like Tai Chi and Qigong and yoga and meditation and breathing are useful, because they train the brain more into an alpha state, raising delta and theta waves, and lowering the stress response and tripping the nervous system more into a parasympathetic response, parasympathetic state. So if you really want to try to slow down your thoughts, relax your nervous system, practice those arts, but really ultimately understand that you can't really control your mind, and that trying to control it, trying to hold on to it, is just trying to like grasp water. It's always going to slip through your fingers no matter how hard you try. And it's really just like trying to, calm water down with your hands. So let's say you're in a pool of water, and you want, you drop something in, there's all these waves, and you want to slow it down, you want to calm it down. So you put your hands in, you're trying to calm it down, but you really just make it worse. You really just stir everything up even more, which is exactly what you do when you try to control your mind and you try to, discipline your mind and really exert all this muscular tension, stress, and strain. So that's how to control your mind. If you have any questions or comments, post them below, and I'll talk to you soon.